Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the day 2 of the Mutineers College COD Invitational. My name is McCormick, alongside myself, all presented by Zaxby's as proper casts. We've got our losers semifinals matchup to start things off here between Oklahoma Christian and St. Edwards Blue. Now, these are two teams we saw throughout multiple series on broadcasts yesterday that not only looked really good, but are kind of at the cream of the crop right now in terms of what we are going to expect in the Vanguard year. Obviously, that's all going to kind of lead us back to our winners finals matchup between Ottawa going up against Indy Esports. But I mean, overall, we're at our top 4 now. We're on Championship Sunday. All these teams have done a great job to make it here to Sunday in general. What are we going to expect from this first matchup specifically, but going forward throughout the rest of the day?
Look, we started off with 16 teams yesterday. We've whittled them all the way down to just 4. I mean, you're absolutely right. We are the cream of the crop here for this weekend. ICC, Ottawa, SEU, and OC are the only teams that are still duking it out to try to make it towards that grand finals and the 1K prize pool at the end of it. What you can expect is just some high-octane gameplay. This is where you're going to probably see a lot more methodical styles be coming through, whether that is holds for hardpoint, breaks as well. Maybe you might see some more diverse strategies coming through from Search and Destroy. I'm not really holding my tongue because who the hell's been playing Cold War since it's been off season for just about a little bit of time at this point. But still, you're absolutely right to assume these are the rosters that will be fielded in the upcoming seasons for Vanguard. So you've got to be able to showcase what you have, whether that's teamwork, team cohesion, or just overall raw skill.
Well, diving deeper into this match we have in front of us here in our loser semifinals, we look at the top of the screen for the map set. Moscow will be map number 1 for the Search and Destroy. We're going to Moscow again. For map number 3, it's Raid on Control. And if we need to go the distance to about in 5, it'll be Garrison in Miami to close out the best of 5 series. So specifically talking about a Moscow hardpoint to kick things off. Yesterday, one of the kind of, I guess, main staples for SEU was that AR gameplay that we had seen time and time again. Going to a map like Moscow, I think that's really going to kind of put a staple on that for them as almost a must-win game number 1 there, because I mean, you look at Oklahoma Christian, although they kind of lost their touch later throughout that series yesterday, when they did eventually go ahead and win against Texas Tech, it was 2 quick map wins. We had like a 45-minute break, and then they instantaneously lost the control, followed by the hard point, and then they were able to close it out 6 rounds in a row after losing the first 2 in the S&D to end the series. So you look at that, obviously there's composure there. There's a lot of veteran leadership on OC Esports, but for SEU Blue, they had a bit of a downfall yesterday. They bounced back with a win against FGCU. They make it here to the semifinals. And now I almost have to say it's almost a must-win in map number 1, but I'm not exactly sure if the full OC Esports roster from yesterday is going to be playing again here today.
Yeah, that's got to be the question on the day, right? You say they have a lot of veteranship behind it. They have a lot of big names and big mouths behind it as well. Fastball is on this roster, of course, and they are, coupled along with Wisdom. That brings a lot of explosiveness, not only in communications, not only on the TL, but also in the game as well. And that's something that you can never really, set yourself up for when you are any of these colleges, because as far as the roster is concerned, going in towards this tournament, a lot of them haven't really competed at this high of a level, barring the Stay Plugged In tournament that happened a little bit ago, the CCL ABC event that we had about a month and a half ago as well. And it's just one of those things that we don't really know what to expect. But what we can already assume is that the solo individual can absolutely carry out a lot of these maps. In Moscow Hardpoint, that you bring it up, that's where an SMG presence such as Bala or Wisdom can really make a full effect. You're right to also assume that for St. Edwards University as well, especially for Thresh with the AR, setting things up for Eons to also pop off with the submachine gun. This could end up being either this or that for either of these two teams, and it's all speculation whether or not it is going to be the full fielded roster for OC Esports. But what I will tell you this much, though, Alex, is that the last time that these two teams did face off was in that Stay Plugged In tournament that happened just weeks ago, and it was in grand finals. It was best of 7. And then SEU Blue were able to win out 4-2. They won the opening first 3 maps, and they lost the following 2, but they were able to stave away and kind of thwart out the reverse sweep. Very scary stuff, but I think that Moscow Hardpoint, it has to be a map win for the St. Edwards University roster. Reason being, their Search and Destroy, not exactly a good one. And if Bala and Wisdom are playing on the opposite side, We know how much Search and Destroy that they have played in the past across multiple titles. That can be very scary to deal with if you are St. Edward's University. So you got to be able to win this Moscow hardpoint as best as you possibly can, so that way you can try to avoid map number 2 as a loss.
And not only that, but of course, you mentioned Wisdom and Bala. The aggression that they play with in Search and Destroy too is
Yeah.
extremely difficult to counter. Specifically, when we talk about a map like Moscow, when you can take those alternate flank routes around the map and really start to open things up for the rest of your team. Now, going back to the kind of topic for St. Edwards, you go back to the Summer Open where they were able to finish second against Ottawa, and they lost 3-0 in that grand final. But more importantly, it was that they only took one map of Ottawa in like 2 or 3 games that they played against them, and that was a Search and Destroy where they won 6-5. Either way, though, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. OC Esports, they've broken things open to go ahead and start off, but SEU Blue, they've gotten back into the hard point. It's just going to be a bit of a scrap time and a contest here for the first 60 seconds.
Yeah, Moscow hardpoint is always just a toss-up. It is as 50-50 as you could possibly ask for down here inside of the Metro while trying to hold on towards the P2 spawns. That'll be in possession of OC Esports for the time being. We get our answer immediately here, Alex. Bala and Wisdom, they are in the lobby. They are playing up against St. Edward's University, but the Hilltoppers, very, very quick to be able to realize, hey, we can soak up a lot of hardpoint time, maybe force them to kind of spawn out towards P3. That happens, but they're not really quick on the gunny to try to break these P2 spawns, and smart not to do it until it pops.
Yeah, and you know, obviously Ball and Wisdom are playing, but the one person that is in for the side of OC Esports that wasn't in yesterday is Strike for Days, and that could be a bit of a switch up here for the side of OC Esports. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So far, hasn't been the greatest change, starting off 0-3, but it's a shaky start. It's the first game of the day. You can understand a little bit of a slow start, but as Eons goes ahead and finds 5 in a row, we'll be at 7-2 to start things off here for SEU Blue. We'll find the demise. Now OC Esports have a chance to break on in, with Strike going to be the first one leading the charge. Kruk will fall over towards back PD, and on the bus Heglich, it's going to be Eons who goes to find the trade.
So close spawns here for the Hilltoppers. Eons 8-2 start for them. That's going to end up forcing out the rotation. You're going to dedicate 2 more lives to try to fight for a little bit of scrap time, but Crook will end up winning that one out. The SUE Blue, as far as the minimap is concerned, will be cutting past the middle of the map. So that's actually going to force both Wisdom as well as Ray to spawn in for P2. And you got to be able to recognize this. If you are Strike all the way over inside the library, they're going to have Bala here for some help. They know some rotating members from SUE Blue. Got to be close.
Oh, Bala almost wins the 1-on-1 up close against Kruk, but in the back off screen, it is going to be Strike who wins the spawn there. The gunfight against Thresh. Ray will find the first one on the Eons. Trades back and forth between both of these teams right now, but it's still going to be the side of Oklahoma Christian who go ahead and maintain those P3 spawns and the hill in tow. So you got 2 pushing through middle map. You got 2 coming from the Eskies side. Now it's just going to be 1. It'll be interesting to see what Relk does here, because if Relk can maybe get a 1 or 2 picks over from the top of the staircase, it could be great. But you got to make sure you're pushing up a little bit more aggressive than you are right now if you're the side of SEU Blue, because you're giving the side of OC Esports so much time on this hill by just making that passive push up the middle, and they're going to be able to basically get the last 20 seconds of time and then have those rotational spawn through the bank over for P4 as well.
Yeah, you're just going to chalk this if you are St. Edwards, right? I mean, you're going to set yourself up inside of gold, maybe try to look for a couple of exits, but nobody's pushed up all the way to the boulevard to look for those exits out of bank like you were talking about. You can see Ralph inside the doggy door. Wisdom's going to go ahead and think that, hey, maybe I can get this office for free. Not so much. Eons on the opposite side finds another. Ray has to play this rustic bus to such a high level, but Eons pinches them from the bank side. That could be an immediate break and flip as far as spawns are concerned, but you can see what OC Esports are currently doing. They are set up over by Globe. That's currently being cut off by Thresh, but Bala hits it from the backside of the rustic bus. Is able to find 2, and that should be the setup here at 4.
Yeah, they're going to force them pretty far across the map as well. They're going to be forced to set through middle here. Bala, once again, will just run straight into the line of fire. Going to be able to take down the first and Eons in the secondary push from SEU Blue. This time, though, it's only going to be 3 players left alive. Bala, beautiful shots there on the Kruk. Won't be able to find it until now. That's 5 in a row from Bala, 4 in a row from Strike, and now as Ray helps over the top, this should be once again scrap time for the side of Oklahoma Christian and SEU Blue. It hasn't been a great first round of hard points, but you can always bounce back here in the second. They had a great rotation over towards P2. Unfortunately, they just lost it a little bit early. It's kind of this next rotation I feel is going to be about not only maintaining those spawns, but also getting those rotations and holding them this time.
Towards the second set, this is a very healthy lead, though, that OC Esports were able to set themselves up for, and they're just thriving in the chaos, right? You brought up such a good point about Bala just earlier on, and just about to search and destroy how aggressive they like to play. Well, that actually gets dialed up to about 11, if not 12, when we are playing in these respawns. 14 and 12 for them, 11 and 10 for Wisdom. It's just setting up their team for success. Say what you will about Strike only having a total of 11 engagements, but it's so hard to be able to pace with the 26 that Bala has been putting on the board. As long as they can continue to provide the space and get their players inside the hard point to soak up all of this time, it's going to garner a lot of success. You can see what it means for the Hilltoppers on the opposite side. A very uncharacteristic, damn near double negative for Thresh here. This player we've been gassing up ever since they moved over towards Texas with the St. Edwards roster, but SEU Blue, they will go for this late break inside P1. This is kind of a recycling, a reprise, if you will, from what happened on the first set. It's going to have to be a break right now and towards P number 2.
Well, Bala gets the spawn out there as everybody from SEU Blue started to push up the map, and it looked like it could have been a flank there, maybe to come to fruition, but unfortunately, it's going to be Croc who sniffs that one out. 18 HP will walk away, just going to play through middle map here and wait for the push through middle map as well. So, one over towards the right, the first one will push out and will fall. The second one trying to force out. Now, Strike is going to get stunned, almost is able to win the one-on-one there, but, however, SEU Blue, despite not having those early rotations, they break in quite fast. They get the first 20 and now can go ahead and try to work for this last 35 seconds, because if they are going to be able to come back in this game, it's going to start here on P2 and then maybe get a rotation out to P3, specifically if you let the side of Oklahoma Christian really start to push this hill and maybe try to find this break.
Nope is a strong one, though, and you got to win back-to-back convincing gunfights, but all things considered, that was a must-needed hold for St. Edwards University to be able to get themselves within striking distance for this lead. It's just going to be about maybe 20 or less seconds, but the rotation is going to be a hard one. If you go back towards the first set of hills, Oklahoma Christian University, they were undeniable on P3, maybe just about 5 seconds worth of contested time. This is where their lead started to grow, and St. Edwards University, they're going to try to break this from the front. They're going to have to bully their way through and deal with some of the ARs that are just set up over in Library.
Well, this time they've got the majority of the gunfights going their way, at least until Bala has something to say about it. Wisdom will go ahead and find the second. Thresh comes around the corner. Beautiful shots just won't be enough to take down Wisdom. We saw how strong he was, specifically on Raid with that AR in the second best of 5, or rather in the best of 5 series to end the stream yesterday. And as you really start to kind of watch this map unfold in front of your eyes, SEU Blue have started to get more aggressive as this game has gone on. They've gotten themselves here in P3. The last time they decided to fly through middle map, this time they go straight down the staircase, and it works out in beautiful colors for them. Now they can try to force out through the back, but at least keep OC Esports off of the time for now, and now have a clear cut and easy rotation over to P4. Eon's probably going to have a big 1-on-2 gunfight here.
Ball is still soaking up scrap time as well. He actually deals with Thresh, who wanted to go ahead and contest that scrap time. Closer spawns are going to be good for that, but you got to win the gunfights as well. And so Oklahoma Christian University, they have a great opportunity to turn scrap into initial. They just have to deal with some lurking members over by this P4 hill, and they do it wonderfully. Ball is also still threatening over by these library spawns. Thresh will take them down. Strike was looking for the trade. They'll meet their demise as well, but this is while they're still soaking up time over on top of P4. Wisdom with the Craig can't lock down the shots, does force out a team kill from Eons, but still the closer spawns will be here for the Hilltoppers.
That was beautiful. Rilk plays a close corner. They're able to have a 1-on-2 gunfight over towards the bank side spawn. Not only that, but they set up an artificial pinch play where it's a 2-2 split on the map. They close in on OC Esports. They're able to find themselves in the hill. However, though, despite it being a great setup, OC Esports, from the far spawn over by P2, they're able to get back towards the hill. So now it's going to be a contest here. Bala over towards the top with the AR will fall to the hands of Thresh. And now it's going to be, once again, SEU Blue inside of the hill. Gotta look for player number 7, though. That's going to be Strike, who's pushing down the staircase around the corner. Will be able to find the headshot. Takes him out of the hill, but Thresh is there to find yet another 2-piece. So that's 4 in a row from Thresh now. OC Esports do have about a 30-point lead, but SEU Blue, they're within striking distance. If they're able to collapse on this next hill and maybe get those rotations to P2, you're looking at a completely different game here. But OC Esports, they don't have any signs or life of slowing down.
Yeah, it was a marginal deficit that we're going into for this third set of hills versus about like the 50, if not a whole hard point difference after the first set. So brilliantly recovered out of St. Edwards University. Now 21-16 for Ralph. Eons is heated up, 21-17. Thresh has definitely turned things around, 17-19, probably recognizing, hey, I can't be as aggressive as I'd like to versus Wisdom and Bala. I just have to kind of anchor things out and set things up for my SMGs, and that's exactly what's starting to go down. But script has flipped since the first 2 sets of hills. Now it's OC Esports playing from the unfavored side, actually forcing a little bit of a spawn out because Wisdom is past that 50-yard line. This could be the moment to strike, but Rauki is doing the right thing, just keeping their life over by Boulevard. It's unfortunate to say, though, OC Esports, they were almost uncontested on P1. They're past that 200-point margin.
Well, you give yourself away, but it's only one person from the side of OC Esports who's all the way in the back, and it's going to be Wisdom. Relk beautifully is able to go ahead and clear out all the way throughout the back, but Bala is going to be the first one who's gotten into the hard point. But more importantly, the rest of the teammates are now here to help through outside of not only the office, but the middle map. As I say that, though, Kruk goes for 2, Thresh goes for 2, and now SEU Blue, they've got life once again. They've got the wind in their sails. They've got the hard point for themselves with 40 seconds left to spare. So Oklahoma Christian, they have not won this map yet. There's nothing guaranteed about this, because if SEU Blue, they get all this scrap time, they get this 30 seconds. We saw what they did last time on the breakover towards P3. They'd have a lead going over to that hard point as well, specifically if they get the last couple of kills here.
This could be a lead swap. Closer spawns are coming through from St. Edward's University. It's going to be Ray trying to challenge it one more time. He will see 3 players. Yeah, chalk it. Go ahead and rotate on over. This will be a lead swap, but again, historically across this entire hardpoint so far, Alex, SEU Blue has broken P2 every single time we've gone to it, 3 times over. Oklahoma Christian University have held on to P3 every single time we've gone over towards it. St. Edward's University, the second time around, they've gotten closer towards breaking it. That was from the front. This time around, they're setting up 2 players closely on the flank, but they didn't end up clearing out gold where Bala was located at. Thresh will find a trade. The teammates will be here very, very close as Crook will then spawn in the middle of the map.
Up the staircase. Thresh turns around. Kruk will find the help there. Now they got to fly up through the elbow side, up on towards the top, and Kruk's going to be the first one to push the aggression once again in towards the hill. Eons is there. Kruk on a 3 spree now looks over towards the backside spawn. You got Strike there with a 74U trying to hold down everything in the back. Thresh, beautiful shots. The main AR is going to be able to get it done on a 3 spree for him. Now everybody from Oklahoma Christian is spawning out across the map. For the side of SEU Blue, they won't be able to get that final tick and win the game, so we're going to see at least one more hardpoint rotation over towards P4. Player number 7 in Strike is already there. Thresh on a 5 spree. Now it's just about the contest time here as we're dead even going into P4.
A hipfire? Rock's going to be able to take down Ray mid-fountain mantle, but this is still big scrap time to be fighting over. It's going to put them at 240, and that's why OC Esports were trying their best to be able to contest it as well. Bala's all the way in the back by Bank. The rest of their teammates over by Globe. This is going to be a pinch coming through for St. Edward's University, and they're forced to be able to find value with this as well. Rock's going to get chased through Bank, well as this battle through P4 is still going up towards the game clock at a dead even game, 240-240.
Strike got a flank kill, but for middle map, he gets traded out immediately. Now Kruk in the hill, laying down with the Krig. Bala over towards the left, Strike and Wisdom. The last 2 who can now make the push play happen. Strike will find the first. Kruk and Relk are there. They get in the hill. They secure the win. SEU Blue, despite being down by, what was it, about 70 points early on in this game, they come back. They take map number 1 by 10 points. And now if you're Oklahoma Christian, you'll be hitting yourselves in the back of the head.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be frustrated about that, right? Because every single time through the first 2 sets of hills, even at the beginning of the game, OC Esports started off on the favored side, and they were able to hold on towards those spawns for P2 for quite some time, even battling and keeping P1 contested as well. It was a brilliant start for Oklahoma Christian University, but they couldn't hold on. P2 got broken 3 times over. We went through 3 sets of hills, and every single time that OC Esports were set up on P2, they got broken and then held on to it. We're St. Edward's University. That's where a lot of that discrepancy started to come from. That 70-point lead after the first set of hills, then quickly got nullified after the P2 break got earlier and earlier after the second set, and then the third set as well. P3 is another moment that we got to talk about there on the Moscow hardpoint as well. Full hold, almost about a solid 55 seconds came through on P3, the first go of things for OC Esports, and then they only walked away with about 30, maybe 35 seconds the second time around, and then they got completely eviscerated the third time around. Just the way that St. Edward's University are able to then recognize what we have to do to correct these breaks. The first time around didn't work when we were trying to pinch through elbow. The second time around kind of worked when we broke it through the front. So now what happens if we're going to hit it all the way through the back? It works out wonderfully for them. They force all of them to spawn out. What happens on Moscow hardpoint, you get those closer spawns. You're able to dictate the pace on back bank. You force all of OC Esports to spawn all east and west. You're able to then get yourself in the middle of that hardpoint inside the doggy door. Power positions were being held, and St. Edward's University were able to claw their way back, flip the lead, and then take the map by 10 seconds.
Yeah, and also in that same regard, towards the end of the game there, if you're OC, when you get broken out of that within the first, 10 seconds, then you just have to start funneling back towards it, because SEU Blue could have won on that hard point. So if you don't get that contest time, you're done with that game already, and you don't even get to see the light of day over towards P4. Not only that, but then if you're SEU Blue, you have them exactly where you want them, because they're going to either just sprint down the staircase, or they're going to get over-aggressive and challenge something overzealously, because they quite literally have to. And I think if we want to point to a really big moment in that game, you can really point to anything kind of in the midsection where SEU Blue started to make that comeback. I really think it comes down to the one-on-one gunfight that was between, I think it was Wisdom and Relk in the back, when Relk made the play to save his life back there, completely changed the complexion of the spawn for SEU Blue, and then they were able able to get that hill simply because they had the close spawn in the back with the majority of people there. They get the kill on the ball from the point, and then it was all said and done from there. All they had to do was hold down basically 60 seconds of time, rotate to the next point, and then break in. It was a great team effort from the side of OC Esports, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to get it done down towards the end. And that's kind of what we saw on map number 4 yesterday when OC Esports was in the losers round 3 match. And that's kind of what you have to almost think to yourself, okay, if you're the side of OC Esports, is this going to be a reoccurring issue instead of a hard point where you get a big lead or you get a significant lead and then all of a sudden the team just starts to get momentum, they start making the comeback, and then you crumble down towards the end of a matchup?
So we brought this up continuously, both Shift and I, yesterday when we were casting a lot of the opening winners matches. And the one thing that we were always going to be able to take away, and this is something that has always been a narrative since CCL Season 0 back in Black Ops 4, is that you got to be able to recognize that individual play will only get you so far. One of the biggest adaptations that we saw in the middle of the map, especially from Thresh, was starting to recognize, hey, I can't go pace for pace. I got to play that main AR role. And then you started to see everybody fall into their own. Relk, Crook, and especially Eons were able to thrive off of those lanes being held down from those Krig 6s from SEU Blue, and then being able to thrive from that was able to get a lot more hardpoint time as well. OC Esports were, again, trying to dictate a lot of chaos, but they weren't able to sustain it just from the overall team play that was coming through from St. Edward's University towards the tail end of that hardpoint. It's those little things in Call of Duty that, yes, individual play, you might be able to see a nasty 4-piece, a clean kill feed coming through from just one player, but it's only going to last for so long when the respawns come through and everybody just collapses on top of it. So we'll move over towards the Moscow Search and Destroy here, Alex, and you know, although the venue will stay the same, the objective is incredibly different, and I'm very, very worried about this St. Edward's University roster, especially from what we've seen historically from them. The first time that we saw them in the CCLX ABC event and throughout the Spin event as well, there was only a handful of Search and Destroys, even on this weekend alone, that they can say that they won. Specifically, when we look at that Indie Esports match yesterday, a 6-1 on the Raid Search and Destroy that they lost, a 6-2 on map number 5 in the Express Search and Destroy that they lost, and a lot of those losses and a lot of those rounds came through because they were getting way too aggressive without checking a lot of their corners and finding information with their tacticals and their lethals, and because of that, a lot of the other teams that just play very, very fundamental Search and Destroy and just wait for those unforced errors were able to capitalize on top of them. So versus this OC University roster, who also enjoy playing rather aggressive, but are also very adept at finding those first bloods within said chaos, this one is going to get weird. Pretty weird.
You see the Moscow hardpoint. You kind of pointed it out early on in the game where Ball is being aggressive, getting those entry frags and being able to find those kills that allowed the side of OC Esports to get those early leads. But now you go to a Search and Destroy where he cools off at the end of the hard point. I really don't think that's going to affect much of the Search and Destroy because those first couple of rounds are going to be the swing rounds, specifically for the side of OC Esports to retake that lead. But SEU Blue, you start to see them making that push over towards the B site. This time, they're not getting really aggressive. They're trying to play a little bit more passive, trying to check some lanes, but more importantly, just trying to find that first blood. And it most likely either come over from the backside or through middle map. Wisdom will be spotted out there by Thresh, but that's going to be the call for the side of OC Esports to say, hey, they're starting to make this push over towards B. And now you look at the flank. Here comes Strike from behind. Might be able to find the first one, but he's got to be careful he doesn't challenge too aggressively because he's got not only multiple people, but Eons with a shot punch there will survive with 8 HP. And now it's a 4 versus 3 with SCU Blue in the advantage.
Yeah, that was a really bad red dot chase there. I mean, nobody was anywhere near to potentially find that trade inside of gold. I mean, yeah, you had Eons weak, but Eons are twisted. So now it's going to call it the rotation to go over towards A. The only player here defensively will be Bala. The information via sound will be there, and that's what I'm talking about. We're going to slowly work our way towards the site. We're finally get on it, but we don't check all of our quarters. 2 kills come back through.
Relk there for the trade there on the ball at 2 versus 2. 15 seconds left. You got the bomb down over towards A. Unfortunately, though, you don't have enough time to go ahead and find these kills and get the plant too. Thresh from behind. Looks for the first one. Will be able to find it. Challenges out to the right. Wisdom's there, but barely escapes with his life. Now Thresh is just going to be forced to chase. Won't be able to find the kill nor get the bomb down. A beautiful round there from the side of OC Esports to come back after the fact when they were down 3-4 in the life count.
Man, I mean, off of just one of the most unfortunate and very novice red dot chase through gold. They got gifted the first blood, and they were lingering over by Boulevard, kind of just figuring out maybe we could go through middle of the map, maybe we can still push B. And then they finally wrap back over towards A, but Bala was just lurking over there. It was able to find that returning elimination, and then by that point, all of OC Esports just completely wrapped back over it and completely stuffed St. Edward's University off of what seemed to be a gifted round. So now here comes that aggression from OC Esports. Both players are here defensively.
Oh, Strike will find the first blood, but Eon's there for a trade. 2 quick kills at the beginning of the round now. 1 on Bala. Wisdom's going to be forced to challenge. We'll see the player wrapping back, but a beautiful spot in middle map by Thresh to watch the staircase. Not only gifts him 1, but he'll get a consolation prize with 2. And then SEU Blue now will get their first round on the board. But realistically speaking, that was just an all-around good round. They get that first blood, and then it just translates into 2.
Yeah, it's Eons. They walk out with a Krig 6. Very traditional to end up seeing 3 Krigs there on defense just for the longer lines of sight that you could be provided with. And Thresh checkers, of course, we know that cross angle all too well. 5 kills in succession in between the 2 of Eons and Thresh. They can't speak much for the round count, all knotted up like you said here in round number 3. It looks like we're going to get a little bit more of that methodical style. Really like seeing this coming out from St. Edward's University, but they need to be able to capitalize on the rotation. Strike's going to push through Gold Alleyway again, knowing that Eons is weak, but it's going to be the immediate wrap back through Boulevard while leaving Crook all the way by Fountain to see if they can catch a player rotating through.
And once again, you see Strike coming through on such a quick flank, and he's going to be able to get the first shots onto Relk. That time, he's rewarded for playing a bit more passive, not chasing the red dot, but just making that long flank around all the way through to check every angle possible. 3 versus 3 now on the retake here of the site. Ball is going to be pushing around the right side corner. Instantaneous trades in a technical way are going to come through, so it's a 2v2 now, but you got to look for play number 4 and Kruk coming on the flank, and both of the players from OC Esports, they've got the PD watched.
Kind of trapped out here by the Boulevard, too. I mean, gotta clear it out. You've got to get this bomb down if you're Thresh, too. Not getting the bomb down in their previous offense really plagued them. Checking every single corner. 25 seconds remaining. Time to drop this rock. They're going to go ahead and put that plant down. Brooks over by the Boulevard, and it's going to be a double hit both from Bala and Ray. They might just have to hit this from the front rather than setting up a pin.
Oh, Ball around the corner. We'll find the first shots there. Thresh was almost able to do it, but just ran out of bullets in the mag there. You got to think. Would have been possible. So a few more shots there, but, one of the points you made beforehand was, all right, for SEU Blue, one of the things is they like to get aggressive, but they don't check all their corners. That time, maybe checked too many corners and didn't give themselves enough time to set up on the post plant. Everybody from the side of OC makes this comeback and makes the wrap back over towards the side. So around the side there, see it one more time. Beautiful shots there from Ray. Is going to be able to win out that round. Thresh just wasn't able to get it done.
Yeah, and all Bala had to do there was go 1 for 1, and they were able to do it, right? I mean, being able to go 1 for 1 while Ray was overlooking their shoulder, that's just a simple retake in COD history, right? I mean, you got an SMG, you got an AR. Let the AR overlook the submachine gun. As long as the sub can go 1 for 1, if not find sufficient damage, the Krig 6 does quite well at that range. Who would have thought with that headshot multiplier? But Ray now on 3 straight, 5 and 2 for them. Another offensive round for St. Edward's University where they have a real good look at being able to close it out. Does not come to the light of day. So now, Wilma Christian going to be pushing towards the Boulevards. This is actually a split push. The ball is actually pushing all the way through the A side. There are players here defensively, and this is going to mess with the minds of St. Edwards.
Oh, shots can't snap on from Ball at Wisdom there with a shot on the Eon, and a kill will come through. Stuck, stick, and done. There goes Wisdom off the map. So now proper, we kind of reset here. There's only one person from the side of SEU who can really make a play here, and it's Relk out towards the Boulevard. Now it's a 2 versus 2. Everybody's split up across the map. And you got to think, is this the right play here from SEU Blue? Sure, you make a flank play around the back, but there's not really an opportunity for a trade just yet.
Rick will end up finding Strike. This is going to force Ray into a 1v2. They're on 4 straight. No potential to play for streaks as they were going to get pinched up from the Boulevard side. The defensive rounds are still looking pretty darn good for St. Edward's University. This was just a very weird offensive round. I get what they're trying to go for. Typically, you'll see one player try to do this, but here's that stick, man. Wisdom just straight right into that. That sucks. That just sucks. But honestly speaking, I mean, like when you're going for that 2-2 split, you saw Relk, I mean, in one of the most aggressive jump challenges I've ever seen in a search and destroy in quite some time. Had the information that there was 2 players over by the Boulevard. They had all the info that this is a split push, and they deal with it. So it was a very interesting offensive round. I mean, maybe OC Esports just trying to take whatever they possibly can and throw it out a window and see if it sticks. It's really St. Edward's University that need to win an offensive round. Eons will get first blood. That's the bomb drop, quickly recovered here by Crook. But it's untradeable. Now in this 3v4, you're kind of trapped inside of this gold area. And OC Esports, wise enough, don't need to push. Don't give them anything.
Now the question is, where do you bring the bomb? Do you bring it over towards B? Do you try to hit a play maybe through middle map over towards the S keys up towards A? Do you wrap all the way back around through the spawn so far? None of the answers seem all that clear, but it looks like they might go ahead and try to push up the S keys here. Strike's going to be up in towards the corner. not playing inside the Esky room, but just on the outside. You got 2 players over towards A, 2 players playing in tandem over at B on the defensive side for Oklahoma Christian. Now as the bomb's just getting slowly worked up through middle map, they're just trying to find an equalizing kill that'll make it a 3 versus 3. But you got to get aggressive here because Oklahoma Christian, they're not giving you an inch.
Right, 20 seconds. Got to make this play happen. Now they're going to go for a late hinge thresh. We'll go through the cutout wall. You couldn't clear out inside of the sofa window. Bala will take down Crook, and it's all just falling by the wayside. Strike comes down from the escalators, and it's just poor Thresh. They're inside apartments. They'll find that one elimination, but there's no way you're getting the entire ace, the bomb planet, and everything. It would be absurd. They would have to all be lined up at that exact moment in time, but it just isn't meant to be. Again, these offensive rounds for St. Edward's University, they're trying to play it slow, trying to play it methodical, but when they get first blood like that, everybody's got to play until they get punched in the face, right? Or first blooded, as it may be here in Search and Destroy. And I got to tip my hat to what St. Edward's are trying to do. It's just not being able to recognize where they have the advantage and being able to then find that advantage earlier on, so that way they can really close out these offensive rounds. Waiting until about 25 to 30 seconds, make a play towards one of these bomb sites. You'll see it happen at the highest of levels, but a lot of more eliminations have to come through before they end up doing that. And OC Esports just being so smart, just not giving them any information until the offense.
Oh, it's a 3-on-1 gunfight over towards A right now. And if you're Relk, you got to be careful at 1-4 here. You really haven't had much go your way throughout the Search and Destroy thus far. Now his ball is going to spot you all the way over towards the back. Wisdom will get a beautiful 7-tex kill to open things up for Oklahoma Christian. So now you can get this bomb down over towards A. It's going to be a tricky retake for SEU Blue, because if you're St. Edwards, not only do you have the man down advantage, but you're all the way across the map, and you still got Ray in middle map. And as I say that, though, through gold will get the kill. Traded out 3 versus 3, 35 seconds left, and now the push is commencing.
They know where 2 hits are coming from. One from lobby and then one from gold as well. So this is actually going to be a missed timing. Strike actually goes all the way back to check L, and they're going to catch ball inside the lobby. Now a 1v3 has to come through for Strike. It would have to be massive feat, but the bomb is planted. Eons hops on it. You can see it. It's planted for lobby. Strike is able to take down one. Eons is just sticking it. Crick will overlook him. The defuse will come through. And one of the harder sites just to retake in general. I mean, both are really just hard to retake in general, but that was just such a smart play, timing aside, to be able to catch Strike over by L. They found that pick through Gold Alleyway like you were talking about, and immediately just double hit through the escalators while the pinch was coming through from lobby. Eliminations came through in sequence of one another, but that was a brilliant retake to knot us up 3 apiece.
And the thing I kind of got to think there, right, is, you know, you plant the bomb side over towards the PD portion over by the office, and then Strike goes ahead and goes over towards L. I can understand the play, but being able to, you know, put yourself in a position to play with your teammate for even a trade on the retake when you're in a 2 versus 3, I feel is more important than trying to clear out over towards L, because again, the bomb is planted for the opposite side. So sure, maybe you catch him off guard a little bit, but either way, it really just kind of doesn't pan out to fruition. But you can't overstate right now. Thresh, after a lackluster beginning of the hard point, starts to turn it up, and now at 8-2 overall here in the Search and Destroy, leading the way for St. Edwards. 6-4 for Kruk. Roke hasn't had a great game, but he's made some good plays for the team throughout the entirety of the Search and Destroy on Moscow. But Oklahoma Christian now going to be on the flank is going to be Wisdom. He can do it with an AR. He can do it with a submachine gun. Bala there with a 2nd kill in the round as well. But there's Thresh to go ahead and equalize things at least a little bit to make him a bit easier for the side of St. Edwards University. The bomb over towards the site. And this time, I thought he was going to get it down. But this time, once again, just got to check every single corner.
His paranoia is going to end up being their ultimate demise. I mean, he ended up just pushing all the way through, and with Thresh ended up going on the backside of Boulevard as well. You got to favor just to get the bomb down at that point. If you start sticking it, and especially if you have a 2-player situation happening inside the apartments, just overlook where you might think that they're coming through. That would be the lobby side and through outside a cutout wall. They just don't get the bomb down. Again, that paranoia, not exactly. So, I mean, it's nice, especially when you're trying to set up, but once you get control of that apartments, get it down, get inside that sofa window, or you plan it for the Boulevard. I don't care. Just get the bomb down.
It's not even a 1-round thing either.
Yeah, it's happening across multiple offenses. They're trying to play too slow, McCoy Mill, and they're getting punished for it.
Yeah. First blood to Bala, middle map. Ray will go ahead and find the 2nd. Eons will challenge out in an aggressive way, and it'll pan out in his favor. Wisdom now trying to make the flank all the way back around from behind. Relk is there. Eons will fall too. Just a quick aggressive round there for the side of Oklahoma Christian. They get those first bloods, and once you get that middle map control for yourselves, it's pretty much dead and over, specifically after Paula gets that first blood over towards that A site.
And the mental's just got to be all over the place if you are St. Edward's University, right? I mean, through the previous defensive round, Wisdom just finds a flank. It's just constantly one member that's over inside the fountain. And then the offensive pushes that are coming through from Oklahoma Christian University are just full frontal assaults. I mean, we saw them all of like maybe 1.5 times pushed over by the Boulevard side. It didn't work out. It wasn't exactly easy to get over towards the B apartment bomb, but when they're aggressively pushing over towards A, more often than not, it garners an offensive round win. And they're just going to continue to do it. So now St. Edward's University, maybe feeling the frustration, going to go back towards this A push, but 3 players are here defensively.
Like the jump hop over the wall for Rec. As you wrap back to middle map, you got to be careful though. Player number 5 is going to be aggressive here. Now the pitch is going to come through. Bala will find 2. Bala looks for the 3rd. Thresh is there. Now Relk finds 2. Okay, completely changes the round now as we get a 3-kill feed of White inside for St. Edward's. Now for the side of Oklahoma Christian, you got to think. Ray in a 1 versus 2 to close out this game, tie this series up 1-1. Relk's gonna be the first one to chow. Thresh over the top. We'll go ahead and get a little bit aggressive around the corner. Not sure if he meant to directly challenge out towards the right, but Relk is gonna get a nice little sneak push around the corner. The head glitch works out in spades, and now it's a 4-5. Still lead for Oklahoma Christian, but probably you gotta start thinking now if St. Edward's can go ahead, just get 1 defensive round here. Maybe things start to swing in their favor. They love to come from behind in a lot of these matchups. Could it be another one of those possibilities?
You just have to play reactionary, right? I mean, that's 3 rounds now in a row where either Bala or Wisdom just finds themselves an angle and just completely pushes it all the way through. Yeah, Bala was able to find 2 that time around over by the fountain staircase, but with Relk being able to find that 2-piece and then Thresh being able to find another one of their own, that's exactly the reactionary type of style that you want to play. Not the slow, methodical style, but reactionary to whatever OC Esports are trying to do. As far as this offense is concerned, going to be looking for a very slow and yet very default setup coming out from Oklahoma Christian Esports. They are looking at every single possible lane. But the way that St. Edward's University are set up here, one inside of the Metro, one inside the cutout wall, back pillars, and then inside the B site itself, OC Esports are going to be starved for information.
Going to be starved for information, but this almost looks...
Yes, they are.
At least similar to what we would see from a St. Edward's push over towards either the A or the B site, where they just get stalled out for a little bit. Not exactly sure what they want to do, but now here comes the aggression. Bala shots long are going to miss on Relk, so we can back off into the office and play the life. Teammate going to come back for some help. That's going to be Eons now playing with Relk over towards the backside in the office to go ahead and try to go fight their way back towards the point. Strike going to be the first one to push up here from the side of Oklahoma Christian. They're just trying to clear out the back. They realize that they have the information, but Eons comes quick on the trade. Now Thresh in middle map, trying to make a flank all the way back around, but I think Ray will be all the wiser there over towards the off-screen engagement, and it will go to the hands of Ray. So now, a 3 versus 2, 15 seconds left. You've got to get the bomb, but you've got to get it down as well. 1 versus 3. Ray's going to have to go big here around the corner. Relk's going to be there now from middle map. This is actually possible for a 1 versus 3, because everybody from the side of St. Edward's started to make that push back towards the site instead of just running away. Either way, they're proper. We're going to a round 11 now, where St. Edward's University have won 2 in a row.
Yeah, very different look. Yeah, I mean, I know that the FFAR is absolutely a bullet hose, and it can be nasty in that medium to somewhat longer range, but without the submachine gun in Bala's hand, you can see the amount of hesitation that they end up seeing for themselves. They spotted the first player out by Pillars, who, much like how you said, then escaped with their life back through lobby. But then Bala just stopped. Did not hit it all the way through from strike. They got chased all the way down by Eons. Couldn't check the cork board as well. And that's the same angle that Bala ended up getting cut down from as well. So very different look. I respect that it was a slow attempt, but here in round 11, it will be the defensive side, actually, for St. Edward's University. The offense for OC Esports looking like a B push.
First shots over the middle there from Thresh. Won't be able to connect on the Bala for a kill, but will force him to get inside of the building and now play the life. Now it's a first blood for the side of St. Edward's. Traded out by Bala, though. So aggressive in towards that B site. Could be able to get this bomb down if player number 5 in Wisdom is able to push up instantaneously. Nobody in middle map. 2 players now coming around on the flank. This could be great timing for the side of St. Edward's. But are they actually going to catch the players that are rotating in the middle? I actually don't think so. So they're going to keep rotating all the way around the back. They're not going to spot out Ray either. So now OC Esports, they're going to get a free plant over towards A. Relk's not even gonna. He has no clue. And now he's gonna be alerted by the bomb going down. Oh, the first player slides around the corner. Shot punch there. Bala gonna be there for the challenge. Relk goes big. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. Wisdom around the corner will fall, and St. Edward's University will go ahead, win 3 rounds in a row, take the S&D. Oh lordy.
Wow. Look, I'm all the way over here in a different state, but I almost have to assume that Coach Sterling probably just jumped out of his seat in high praise. I mean, that again, for St. Edward's University, their biggest woe since we've seen them, Alex, has been their search and destroy. Typically, they're too aggressive. This time around on Moscow Search and Destroy, they were too passive. And they couldn't capitalize on a lot of opportunities that were presenting itself on offense. But then they started playing more reactionary on those 3 rounds in a row, especially on those defensive sides where they just fully recognize, hey, we're giving them too much information. We're getting flashed in these certain situations. We're getting tagged by Semtexes. We're trying to take too many aggressive angles and we're trying to take too many aggressive challenges. So let's give them absolutely nothing and wait for them to try to make the push through 3 separate rounds offensively. OC Esports were able to quite literally bully their way through the A site. So what if we just put a player all the way on the backside of pillars? We play for the retake, but then we come through from the escalators and we completely collapse on them. It's such a beautiful adaptation that we just simply have not seen from St. Edward's University in any sort of match where they've been given a lot of pushback. And this is this exact match with Oklahoma Christian University to be able to test the waters to see what it actually feels like when they are pushed back on their heels. You got to really tip your hat to St. Edward's University that they got pushed to the absolute brink. Bala was going on an absolute tear. Wisdom was finding too much value with the flanks. Strike was right there with them, providing a lot of space. But St. Edward's University, specifically Thresh, again, much like you said, had a very slow start towards that hard point. Then in that moment in time, recognize, hey, maybe I should just play the full-on role. Maybe I should just lock down these lanes and set up my
Absolutely.
SMGs for success. And who would have thought that it's actually a recipe for success? It comes all the way through in 2 map wins. They were tight, 10 seconds in the hard point, and then 1 round in the search and destroy, but it's 2-0 up regardless for the Hilltoppers.
Well, there's two narratives here. Number one, we could obviously say this could end easily in a reverse sweep just as easy as SEU Blue were able to come back from both of those first 2 games. And that's kind of the story, at least for maps number 1 and 2, is the comeback kids for St. Edward's University, as not only in the hard point did they had to face about an adversity of about 80 to 90 seconds early on in that game, but there inside of the S&D, it didn't look like they were going to be able to keep up with the slang towards the end, and then they win 3 rounds in a row. Same thing goes for SEU Blue. Relk starts the game around 1-5. I believe he ended that game on a 6 spree there, not only going ahead and finishing positive, but helping that team in probably the most crucial moments out of any S&D that he's played, at least here inside of this tournament. So, number one, SEU Blue, now with a 2-0 lead. Number two, Oklahoma Christian now has to go ahead and reverse sweep. And number three, we're going to head to a quick break. And when we come back, the raid control will set us up for potentially the end of the series. Welcome back to the Mutineers College COD Invitational presented by Zaxby's. With myself as proper cast, I'm a cornmeal. Map number 3, raid control, is where we're going to next, and we got to start talking about the narrative here for the reverse sweep. Oklahoma Christian, well, they had 2 really close maps, and if you can see up above me, that those maps were 250 to 240 with a comeback from the side of SEU Blue that allowed them to get map number 1's win. And then, of course, inside the Moscow S&D, if you were just joining us, it was a 6-5 victory in round 11 that gave SEU Blue a 2-0 lead in the series, where the side of OC Esports had a 5-3 lead over them until those last 3 rounds went in the way of SEU Blue. So we go into a raid control now proper. I'm asking you this question because I know you hate me for bringing up the narrative here.
True.
What do you think about Oklahoma Christian's chances here in a map number 3 against SEU?
I think it's pretty good, considering the fact that last time that we've seen St. Edward's University effectively play a very tough team on this exact map mode combo was yesterday versus ICC in the Esports, of which they did lose in a round number 5. Now, they look good on their second offense, being able to immediately rectify a lot of their issues that were plaguing them on their opening offense, not finding a single tick, but I think I do like I think I do like Oklahoma Christian University's chances of forcing out at least a map number 4. But here's the thing, though, I gotta play devil's advocate even against my own self here. Is that in the hard point of Moscow and in the search and destroy, also on Moscow, we saw mid-map adaptations coming through from the overall play style from St. Edward's University.
Sure.
That's terrifying. No matter the level of Call of Duty that you are playing, down here at Collegiate, for players that are all in the same facility, that when they met each other, have been hitting the grindstone, whether that's playing eights, finding themselves scrims, even though it's inside Cold War, setting themselves up for Vanguard, the team chemistry is getting better and better. And with that team chemistry is also coming through a lot of those adaptations that have been winning the maps, whether you're looking at the breaks back on P2 and then over inevitably for P3, the generalized play style of slowing things up and playing more reactionary in the search and destroy to garner 3 rounds in a row. That's what I'm mostly really weary of about maybe forcing out the reverse sweep because they had that VOD to go back and watch versus Indie Esports yesterday. So we'll have to see what Coach Sterling is able to do with this stacked roster here at SEU Blue to kind of correct a lot of their mishaps that happened just yesterday.
Sure. And I think what I'm kind of want to key into here next is this map is going to be fun to watch, not because of the SMGs, but I think Wisdom versus Thresh is going to be such a fun AR battle to watch because yesterday, just watching the way Wisdom was able to play throughout this map, it looks so methodical, it looks so practiced, and it looks so pure and clean that not only is that going to be a huge reason for OC Esports to be able to potentially take this map, but more importantly for the side of St. Edwards, you're going to have to shut down Wisdom on this map. Now, there's a caveat to everything that I talk about with the side of Oklahoma Christian, and that is inside of the best of 5 series yesterday, where they lost their 2-0 lead in the series, was in the control on raid on this map where they lost 3-1 and gave the opportunity for the opponents to get streaks very early on in the game. We'll have to see if they can do that here again, though, rectify those problems, be able to take map number 3, start the reverse sweep, and that beautiful kill right off the rip, and being able to get those first 2 ticks of progress over towards the A site. Well, that's going to bode well for a trip to potentially map number 4.
Oh, I mean, the A site's gone. The A site's just gone. I mean, OC Esports only lost a single life. There goes the second, but 60 seconds on the board. 2 minutes and 15 seconds, by the way. Got a whole extra round, essentially, to take the B zone. And all the lives as well, but it's marginalized, right? Because you only lost those 5 lives for the Hilltoppers, and now you're recognizing, hey, we got to get our power positions back. So great little resurgence after getting absolutely bulldozed off that initial break off. So now you got to work your power positions. Relk wants this top bedroom position, misses the timing outside of the pillar. There are already players past the open staircase. Here comes Relk, cleaning up on a lot of damage, knows that there's going to be another player, goes for a swim. Strike says, get out of my pool.
Thresh over towards the right side, Strike trying to find the one-on-one gunfight, but you gotta look over towards the top money window. It's gonna be Relk once again trying to make the play with the AR over towards the water side. Everybody from Oklahoma Christian just trying to push up. The ball and nade there, that's going to help out a lot because now they got 3 down. They can start pushing up the map. Eons is going to be the one inside of top money looking down with the AR, but Bala, Strike, pair for yet another 2 kills. They won the first round yesterday and then proceeded to lose 3 in a row. And it was an offensive round that they were able to win right off the rip too. Now as Relk and Kruk come back and find 2, it's a pinstripe kill feed that still leads the side of Oklahoma Christian with more lives and not over towards the point. So St. Edwards, they got to get back fast because if they stack this point over towards B, it's going to be a GG.
Oh, it might just be that good round that you were hinting at there. I mean, you got players inside a money window. They deal with the player. That's Wisdom backed by the long chairs. But you still have Strike just coexisting over by Tiki with their teammate of Ray. But you end up having Bala try to challenge inside a kitchen. Relk will resurface themselves. It's all up to Wisdom again, and they will touch the zone in time to get that little last bit of progress needed for the Esports to be able to take the opening offensive round. They got the first zone here at A with the initial push, and then it was a war of attrition, if you will, of just playing numbers. And that's got to be frustrating for St. Edwards University. Again, they needed to recognize that A zone was fallen by the wayside the moment that they lost that initial gunfight, and then immediately set up over by the B zone. This has been one of the biggest problems when it comes to control across the collegiate scene all year long. But because St. Edwards University did not recognize that one little mishap, they never got a player up in bedroom. They never really had kitchen control. And OC Esports were able to continuously reinforce the B zone.
9 kills in round number 1 there from Strike after a lackluster performance in map number 1's hard point. They are inside the S&D. Starts to get a bit better in towards the KD overall, but here inside of map number 3, really starting to turn himself up and into a beast of a man. As you look at 29 to 28 lives remaining, really nothing off the board yet except a couple of players from the side of Oklahoma Christian. And that's going to be a nice little touch for St. Edwards University as they get over towards this A zone, because now not only do they have the life advantage over towards the point, or at least did, they're still going to be able to find a couple of kills here. And that's namely going to be in the hands of Kruk, Thresh, and Relk as they get a few kills over the top. Kruk plays his life inside of the point. They're going to be able to capture A as well. Last time it was an 11-second tick off the clock for the side of Oklahoma Christian that left them with about 2 minutes and 19 seconds. This time they get 2 minutes and 21 seconds to work with here for the side of St. Edwards as they try to get back over towards B.
And Bala and Wisdom actually hit back Laundry a little bit late once the A zone actually ends up getting fully secured. So that's going to keep all of the Hilltoppers just trapped inside of the middle of the map. And there's no chance to be able to sequence the A over towards the B zone. And now here comes the setup, pushing through Zig. That's going to be Bala. You also have Ray here on board with them. Would like top bedroom control. We can see with the X-ray in the minimap, Eons is that player that is up here for St. Edwards, while the rest of the team is trying to push through red. It's a battle on two different fronts. They are trying to work some of the pinch magic, maybe get some ring control, and then through the middle of the map, while you just have Eons overlooking the bedroom. They drop down from towels off screen. Ray will take them down.
Strike, some bad timing there. Kruk able to run up the ramp, but Oklahoma Christian, they've managed to go ahead and get the life count back under their favor. SEU had built themselves about a 5-kill lead after they got that A zone ticked off. They're starting to work their way back over towards B. But you just look at the map pressure that Oklahoma Christian has built themselves. Wisdom in the top window will be able to find yet another kill. Round towards the ramp, won't be able to find that player. Gets shot in the back, but now through middle map, here comes the player from Pillars, and that's going to be Fastball. Looks for the shots on the one, will escape with the life. Now comes back around the corner. Somehow finds at least a kill before falling. Now you gotta look over towards Laundry because the spawns, they're gonna be over towards the back. But at St. Edward, they actually just opt to go straight through the kitchen. And I love this play because this is gonna give them money window control. And Fastball is gonna be the first one to challenge and find it while Strike gets a second kill.
The next problem is, though, nobody cared to really clear out bedroom. I mean, I get the point. Yeah, you have a power position from money window. You have a nice angle from the God Rock over by the B zone to look at bedroom and maybe win that gunfight. But before it's just all too late, I mean, Ray has just set themselves up here just for what feels like an eternity. 13-5 for them on a 6 streak. One more kill will give them the artillery strike. They're hard ADS for Thresh here outside of the AC, but Thresh, well, we talked about him, the centering, the knowledge of everything else in between. That'll be able to take down Ray from that streak. No artillery strike has been earned. Bedroom has been secured. But ball is still here in open staircase. Eons tries to go for the trade. They're able to find it. 8 seconds remaining. This is the last push for St. Edwards. They only have one more respawn.
Well, they open the door up with a kill there on a strike. You got 3 players left alive. It's a 3-on-3 over towards the point. Wisdom will fall. Bala is there for the trade onto Eons. Now it's Relk in a 1 versus 1 on the point, but the teammates are there for the reinforcement. However, it's only going to be 3. So 7 people left for the side of Oklahoma Christian. They've got 3 lives at least for a respawn remaining. Thresh will be the first to fall. Thresh and Kruk, though, they'll pair for 2. Now it's getting a bit scary because they read the flank right. Raise his next one up to fall. 2 ticks of progress. You got to get to the point now if you're the side of Oklahoma Christian. From money window, you try from the top side. You got to break into the point now with 1 versus 3. Thresh finds the first, can't get it from the backside, but oh god, that got closer. And that's that side of Oklahoma Christian maybe you wanted there, specifically in a 3 versus 8. They were maybe like what, a 4/5 of the way to getting progress on that last tick.
Yeah. I mean, securing that 5th total tick for the round 2 was big enough within its own self. If you're unfamiliar here in Cold War, the way that it dictates for defense wasn't always like this, but we got to look at the tick progression. If we end up going to the round 5, could mean absolutely everything for a team that prefers defense here. If you have the more ticks progress through the offensive sides, that'll garner you the defensive side if we do end up going towards a round number 5. But it's going to have to be 2 rounds in a row for St. Edwards University, a defense and then an offense. OC Esports, the last offense, they took the A zone very, very quickly. It is a rinse-repeat setup for St. Edwards University where they send 2 players in the middle of the map and they're sending 1 player all the way on the longest flank possible. I mean, by the time Ralph gets here, the A zone might just be falling off by the wayside.
Well, 1 person left inside of the point. It's going to be player number 1. Bala will fall from behind, so the flank works out for now, but it only is going to keep them basically from getting the last half of progress on the 3rd tick. You got to look for Strike, who's playing up in towards the laundry window. The player in Relk will go ahead and continue on the spree that he's built himself, 2 in a row. Although it's not really flashy in the amount of kills that's been had, can't understate the amount of presence and pressure that they've been able to build from the side of St. Edwards into the spawn of Oklahoma Christian. Now as Bala looks towards the back, you've got Kruk in the backside spawn as well. Still playing over towards the laundry window, it's going to be Strike. Really start to need to make a push out here now, and now they'll direct the attention back over towards the A site. Wow. You would have loved to play the time there, maybe just play the point instead of pushing directly over towards Art, because that's going to allow the side of SEU Blue not only to deplete that A zone, but really start to get more map presence once again.
Yeah, but look at what Esports are able to do. They slit the net through the middle of a map. No one was watching from kitchen, and Wisdom has been over in that exact position the second that Eons resurfaces himself back over towards Ring. 3 more kills come through, and now it's a double-edged sword progress over towards A. That should be the 3rd tick. You shouldn't even be over here if you are Crook and Row. Just get out of here. Go reinforce the B zone, where there are also 2 players, because inside Tiki, Ray is still finding eliminations. 3rd tick of progress will be fully tacked over here. You would think Crook is able to find that last kill. Wow, that should not be happening. A war on 2 different fronts, 28 seconds and ticking on down. Life's just about even yet again. Wisdom from the flank finds 2. Of course they would, but they are all by their lonesome over by the spiral staircase. Eons needs to go big, and they can't seem to lock down anything besides some damage.
One hell of a ballsy play call there to allow Kruk to play a one-on-one over towards the A zone without going ahead and resupplying over towards B, because now you got everybody stacked from the side of Oklahoma Christian over towards the site. You look for a couple more. The last one around the corner. Strike 20-16 through almost 3 rounds of the control. A 4-life advantage for Oklahoma Christian puts St. Edward's University now just a tick of progress on offense away from losing not only this map, but the reverse sweep starting for Oklahoma Christian. Thresh there with a kill on the strike is going to allow things to at least stay dormant over towards the A site for now. Wisdom will back all the way off on a force free. Would love to have some streaks here if you don't win this round going into the next one. But here comes the flank from Eons, and that opens the door all the way through the spawn. And now you look at the push up through the map. Now Oklahoma Christian down in a deficit with lives. Only 4 respawns remaining in total. St. Edward's University, they got full control of the south side of the map, or at least did. From the north side, though, Oklahoma Christian, they're going to try and play this a bit unorthodox. I actually really like this play call.
Saw 2 players. You got one over by Red and back Laundry. Eons goes down. That's Kitchen going to control immediately going over towards him as well. And you got to end up just dealing with this flank. It's going to be a 2v3. Eons is able to find the first. Ray onto Relk, and then Strike follows up the one onto Eons. So now the map is essentially flipped here for Strike. They know the players are inside of Red. Those were not easy shots to be able to land, but Strike is able to do it. More players spawning in towards jungle. I don't think that Strike ended up seeing that nameplate, but we're down to 10 seconds. It's a 2v3 for the zone.
Another potential clutch here. Oklahoma Christian, they really would love this round to go ahead and find themselves their first series win on the board. Wisdom with a shot over the top there on the Relk. 3 seconds left. It's a 1v1. You got to touch the point for the contestant. You're going to be able to get in around the corner. Thresh with the 1v1 clutch. Oh my goodness. Could you believe it?
Oh no, hold on. I got to go open up my file cabinet so I can put in another thing on the list of things that absolutely should not happen. What? I mean, yeah.
Else to put on the fridge.
it was a 3v2. I don't want that on the fridge when I go visit my parents. I don't want to see that again. That was. Look, it was a 3v2. Map was flipped. Mike was able to find some quality shots onto Thresh all the way over by the red heady. And then from there on out, it was, again, that 1v1. I guess who better to be on either side for those 2 teams in that last 1v1? I mean, maybe Bala, but at least it was Wisdom, right? But at the end of the day, right, I mean, versus Thresh, just probably did not expect them to challenge like that. Was the most probably expecting them to lay down. It's Wisdom, baby. They're going to take that challenge every single day and, well, twice on Sundays. And they were able to take that challenge, able to win it out, had the centering set up and everything. I mean, that's just so frustrating to be able to deal with if you are St. Edwards. You had a good look at the initial defense, but you ended up just over-investing your lives away. Once the A zone ends up going by the wayside, the offensive side of things almost were able to convert that B zone, just was not able to put themselves in a position to be able to take away the power positions, top bedroom, top kitchen, and then push all the way through from basketball court to spiral. They just couldn't convert fully for the B zone. The OC University tried and true strategy of just be so unpredictable in some of their positioning, specifically from Bala and Wisdom, comes through in the control. They're able to then garner that from map positioning alone, then in turn is able to get so much tick progression so early on. It's just a war on so many different fronts for this OC University squad. Their control looks very good, but I was expecting SEU Blue just to lose their raid control in general, just not in that fashion.
I said before the raid control started that I wanted to see the AR battle between Thresh and Wisdom go head to head, and well, it ends up being a 1v1 for the game, and I couldn't have asked for anything better right there. Wisdom, I don't know what the hell he took this morning, but this guy, for whatever reason, when it comes down to the clutch, has been lights out here. So now we look at a series that still St. Edward's University has the advantage in 2-1 up inside of the series. However, when we look at the side of Oklahoma Christian, they win a 3-0 on raid control. The map that they lost to have a reverse sweep start against them yesterday, and now can start their own kind of storyline and maybe a Cinderella story all the way through the end of this, with now a Garrison hardpoint leading up. And, you know, with the confidence that you have inside of your back now, you've got a fresh mental reset on the series overall. You go into a Garrison now, you're thinking, okay, we've absolutely got this in the bag. As long as your confidence is there. I keep alluding to Wisdom, but the amount of things that he did yesterday that were, quite frankly, disgusting.
Yeah.
And inhumane in a sense around the P3 rotation from P2 through the actual Trash Hill side all the way around the back. It was beautiful. And if we see that again, if we see that same type of Wisdom, pair that with Bala and Strike, who had a phenomenal map number 3, That's going to be a chef's kiss from me.
Oh, you said confidence in Bala within like the very near sentence of one another. I don't think that Bala has lacked confidence in a Call of Duty probably since they picked up the six for the first time when they were like all of like what, like 9 years young. So I mean, like, and even then, he was probably still very confident. So, like, listen, I think that if you start giving this OC University an inch to breathe, specifically both for Wisdom and Bala, they're absolutely going to run a mile with it too. And you
Sure.
got to be able to tip your hat over towards Strike as well. Again, one of these players, of course, pairing along with both Bala and Wisdom, I'm sure some of that confidence has to absolutely radiate off of them. And Strike is able to then flourish on top of it as well, right? I mean, they have themselves a great map number 3, not the greatest map number 1 to speak of. Map number 2 was a very steady roll coming through from Strike as well, causing a lot of ruckus, maybe red dot chasing in a certain instances where they shouldn't have. But you can see a lot of that confidence just kind of going across all 4 members right now for OC University. And that's scary to deal with if you are St. Edward's University, because they are now falling back and playing this very slow reactionary play style. When they just end up losing just so many members just on the front of things, this is where things can start spiraling out of control. And that's exactly what happened, especially for a lot of those offensive rounds for OC University back on the rate control. And it scares me, McCormiel, going into this Garrison Hardpoint, where SMGs, they have so many nooks and crannies, so many different dark corners to where they can influence the map. Your Simps, your Abeezys, your Envoys from the CDL season really come to mind in this map mode combo, and the influence they're able to find to really upset mid ARs like Thresh, like Relk, although they're finding influential 2 pieces on maps where they're a lot more open. Garrison doesn't always offer those same exact situations.
Well, folks, if you are just joining us, map number 1, 250 to 240, SEU Blue came back from about down 90 points inside of that map to take map number 1 inside of the S&D. SEU Blue, another comeback where they were down 3 to 5, came back, won 3 rounds in a row to take that in a 2-0 lead. Inside of the raid control, although it says 3-0 at the top and it was a 3-0, it was still a lot closer than you might have thought throughout the entirety of that. Besides maybe round 1 where OC Esports came out with the hot hand, were able to take that A zone and then immediately translate that into B progress. St. Edward's almost came back in a 3 versus 8 there at the end of round number 2, and we're about 4/5 of the way from getting the final bit of progress that they needed before OC Esports got the respawn, got back to the point. And then, of course, we saw in that final round of the control a huge one-on-one there between Wisdom and Thresh goes the way of Wisdom to give them the 3-0. So this series has not disappointed one bit. It has been close all the way through. And now as we go to another Garrison hardpoint, or rather another hardpoint on Garrison, I don't expect this to go really any other way than be a close series. Now, OC Esports, from what we saw yesterday in their best of 5 series on the stream, what they did is they were able to string Hills 5 and 1 together at the end of rotations, but more importantly, they were really, really strong and solid at being able to get those P2 rotations after holding down the first hardpoint. They kind of struggled on 3 and 4 just a bit against their opponents, but I think this time, though, if they're able to get out, rotate early, and specifically with the confidence that they have, they should be able to hold it down. But the caveat to that, obviously, is St. Edward's University has been able to break them multiple times on multiple hills throughout the hard point that we saw on map number 1.
Yeah, and here's another fun stat line for you all as well, is that across the entire weekend for the CCL X Mutineers event, St. Edward's University, the Hilltoppers have not dropped a single hard point. Not yet. Things have been incredibly close. You even go back to their highly contested map number 5 down to the wire series versus Indie Esports yesterday. 250-207 on the Apocalypse, 250-204 on the Raid hardpoint, and then 250 to 240 here today on the Moscow hardpoint. You almost have to think some similarities have to be resembled here if you are a fan of the Hilltoppers, St. Edward's in general, or just the players to be able to react later on if they get down too early.
Starting things off here. Kruk across the bridge. Shots there on the strike. Looks for the second one on the ball. Inside of Dark. Oh, almost gets the shots onto Ray as well with a Diamante, but Relk is there for the help. So, SEU get back onto the point here. 12 to about 12 should be the stat line at the beginning if SEU is, of course, able to get those last couple points on that hill for the scrap time. Now we look to the rotations. You got Kruk, who's already set up on the head glitch there for the top green push. Only one player going to be opting to go ahead and maybe get aggressive towards top green. That'll be Wisdom. So that's maybe not a gunfight that you want to go ahead and challenge. Either way, Eons at middle map will be able to find those first 2, trying to flank through the cobble side. And really proper. This opens up an entirely new opportunity for SEU, because now you have to wait for them to push back through middle map, and you can clear them out of top green while getting yourselves a ton of nice time.
And Eons, I mean, they're just causing a ruckus over by the suspending tank. Thresh over by Lights is also working an off angle, and this is continuously diminishing the numbers. Ralph just laying prone inside of Cobble as well will take down Ray, so no pinch potential coming through. You still have Strike mid-map, and you still have players trying to cycle through top green, but I mean, you just got to chalk this at this point if you are OC Esports, because you are spawning in for P3 effectively. And you just got to try to zone them away outside of where the trash bins are. And that's exactly what Shrek is going to start doing. Crook will end up finding them. There's the trade. Sure, it looked real janky, but it ended up coming through from Rock regardless.
Off of a beautiful hold on P2, they have to go ahead and try to break for P3. Now up through middle map, you've got the first 2 players pushing. Thresh, Crook, gonna lead the charge here for SEU. As you look around the corner, Ray's going to be holding the head glitch. Ball is going to be able to get up and aggressive now from behind. Ray's going to be able to find the second kill of 2. So, and now is your side of Oklahoma Christian. You've cleared the side of SEU out of your spawn. Sure, you got Eons to deal with now, but you can get back in the hard point. It's going to be a lot of solo pushes here now. You got one all the way towards the top of the map. You got a player inside of tools and then a player that's going through dark. This is not really the typical setup or the break that I would want to see tried from the side of St. Edwards. Again, specifically due to the fact that it was solo push after solo push, and now you look at player number 7 in middle map. Sure, they're playing a bit more passive, but even then, this is going to be another 20 seconds of time that should go to the side of Oklahoma Christian and once again give them the lead.
Yeah, and it should be just like that, right? I mean, it seems very handshaky, you know, what came off of P2 for the Hilltoppers and then what's happening over here for Oklahoma Christian here on P3. But this is the right idea if you are St. Edwards University, because P4, you can see it in the little block on the mini-map. That's where we're going to be rotating over towards. And the problem with where OC Esports are currently spawned in that, they can be trapped over here. So you got to start finding yourself a couple kills. Ball will surface outside of dark. Strike will hit the same angle. Can't lock down the elimination on a very weak Eons, down to just 19 HP. Would really like the regen to come through, but while this is happening, through the double doors, you're going to have Bala off the respawn, as well as Strike, finally able to lock down that kill on the Eons, and the entire map has now been flipped. St. Edwards are spawning in for P3. OC Esports are in possession in the middle of the map. This can get ugly.
Big thing that came there from the Eon's kill is that he forced them all the way back over towards Dark, which then forced the spawn of St. Edwards towards the back of P3, and now they're going to be in the same position that Oklahoma Christian was in, where the spawn trap is absolutely doable, still possible, and happening as we speak. So Roke around the corner, Thresh will find the first kill out of Dark, trying to push up the map, and that's beautiful right there, because now Thresh will go for 3, tries to find the last one, wants to go for number 4, and over towards top green. Wisdom was almost about to give him the kill, and from what we saw from Wisdom in map number 3 there, coming into map number 4, it just looks like a completely different player almost at this point, but starting to turn up just a bit on a 2 spree. It seems like every time I've talked about players negatively the last couple of days, they've proved me wrong instantaneously, and I hope that's what we continue to see here from not only Wisdom, but really everybody else that's continuing to struggle for both of these teams.
You really have a knack for that, right? I mean, the second that you start speaking ill about somebody, then they just like pop off. They get like a 4 straight down, or the second you start bragging up about like the potential for a reverse sweep starts happening, aka both the best of 5s that both you and Austin casted yesterday. You really have a knack for these types of things. It gotta be certain.
0-5 and then goes on a 12 spree instantaneously the round after. Like,
I think there's a certain amount of branding behind that you might have to look at. But at St. Edwards University with this late break over towards P5, this is a must-needed break for them. They're still messing with some close spawns, split spawns at that over by the ramp. Nice little double down from Wisdom up here inside top green. Ball is soaking up some hardpoint time. Will recognize all of St. Edwards University are still effectively spawning in for P5. That's okay if you do get eliminated here, because you got to look at the setup going in towards the second set of hills. Yeah, it's only about a 24-second lead. Not exactly what you wanted, given how OC Esports looked off of P3 and then the flip in towards 4. But with their setup currently, they're dictating the pace of the middle of the map. They got to start dealing with Ralph in this lurking role. There it goes. We'll finally start to deal with it. Looking up a lot of time off of P1 is going to be a big one for OC Esports, so long as they can continue to hold on to the catwalk as well.
I was going to say, for a second there, I thought the flank might be able to come through, at least fruition, from behind, because you saw the player from SEU Blue be able to sneak all the way through top green. Back over on the flank, the hop up, though, just didn't work out. So you get the good timing on the turnaround there from Strike, who was inside the hard point. So now Wisdom, Ray, they're going to tandem for a couple of kills. Ray over the top, going to be watching over Bala through the lights push, and now we'll at least hop into the hard point for now. I love this play, though, because not only do they get that hill time, but everybody starts to push up the map from the side of Oklahoma Christian. They spawn out, they spawn in towards the next point. They're going to be able to set up early, and now it's going to be on the side of St. Edwards to go ahead and break over towards P2, because Oklahoma Christian, well, they weren't even able to basically get a touch on the hill the last time through.
This is where the majority for St. Edwards' time has come from within the first set of hills, but Wisdom is over here on a 5 spree, 19 and 11, has the tech set to be playing with as well. Yeah, I mean, that's terrifying. For the first opening 15 seconds will be coming through. Fully streaked out of their eyeballs as well, by the way. It does have the artillery and the cruise missile to play with, so you can feel confident with this entire P2 setup. Given that even if you hold on to it for the majority of the time, yeah, you're going to have a 100-point lead, plus the streaks to break over inside of P3. But the hit from the backside of Cobble off screen is going to be held down by Ray. There's the challenge. Wisdom, what the hell was that turn?
6 in a row. Looks to the back, trying to go for 7. But I mean, usually we talk at this point, oh, 7 in a row. Oh, you're looking for streaks. You've already got full streaks to work with now. And now you go back over towards the right side. 10 seconds of scrap time left to get. Relk is going to challenge, but wisely gets behind the head glitch there. The teammate going to be over the top trying to help. 74 EU out now for Wisdom. Left side corner. Relk laying down, finally gets the kill there. But Oklahoma Christian, they're already across the map. They're set up for the next hard point. The close spawns are going to be in as well, right next to the Jenny. So now as you try to go ahead and break back across the map, Oklahoma Esports not only turned about 45 seconds into a rotation and a hold, but they could easily win this game here off of this hard point time.
Yeah, and again, that worst case scenario that even holding on to P2 fully while all of St. Edwards are still spawning into P3 just doesn't exist. OC Esports were able to capitalize past the middle of the map, get the closer spawns as well, so the break has to come through so desperately for St. Edwards University. They got to upset these spawns. They hit through Dark, and Tools is about to be coming through off-screen Thresh, and a very, very interesting engagement. Shots in the back of the Diamante. What is going on? It's like someone needs to get an elimination here. Bala finally comes through and just puts it to rest. My word, that was weird.
Well, we're guaranteed another hard point up and towards the north portion of the map for P4 in the trash hill. Kruk and middle map just trying to hold everybody back from the side of Oklahoma Christian. We've seen many comebacks on Garrison, but I don't think we're going to see one here today, specifically down by about 140 points. It's still doable. And I want to be able to talk it up as much as I humanly can.
Yeah,
However, at the same time, you have to be able to speak this into a realistic strike of things because, well, Strike will find that first kill. Here comes the streaks from above, tries to curve it in top green, won't be able to find the kill somehow there onto Thresh. So Thresh will continue to stay out. Thresh goes for 3, Bala laying down from behind. Thresh goes almost for number 4. As he slides around to the corner, it's going to be Eons who finally gets that last bullet tag onto the player in Bala. Now through the back, Thresh gets the kill onto Strike. Okay, Thresh decides he wants to go ahead and pop it. So hey, maybe there's the opportunity for streaks. Now you hold down P4, you rotate to P5, then we got a completely different game to talk about in front of us. But that's, of course, without Oklahoma Christian being able to come back. Oh, Wisdom. Oh, you can't be doing that. That's crimes against humanity.
Yeah, but no one's going to read that. Ray ended up spawning towards the P2 ramp side, but luckily enough, you're able to deal with it on the front from the shipment tent. Here comes Thresh, reinserting themselves. 28 and 22 for them now will be dealt with by Ray. Again, they're just being gifted spawns left, right, and center. Christmas isn't for a couple more weeks, Ray. How are you being gifted these spawns, Ray? Over here by the shipment square will be finally dealt with, but a decent P4 is not going to be good enough for St. Edwards University to bring themselves back inside this map. Again, Ray spawns in for P5. This is the P5 especially here on Garrison if you're new to Cold War, by the way. And Thresh is thinking that maybe I need to block out these spawns will be dealt with. This has to be a full hold. The streaks are coming in. The artillery strike is going to keep them trapped.
Doesn't give them anything, though, but it allows us out of Oklahoma Christian to get back over towards the hard point. But there goes Thresh once again. Now at 31 and 26 will fall. You got to look to Relk. He's going to have a one-on-one gunfight over towards the archway inside of Cabo. Out in the square. Here comes the gunfight. Relk finds the kill on the Strike. Traded out immediately. Here comes Bala. You got 3 players pushing over towards the light side of things. And now as Wisdom finds the kill over the top, that surely should do it here. As long as they can keep them out of middle map from pushing up this left side lane. Relk will fall. Kruk will fall. Eon's there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I might have jinxed it, but we're going to a map number 5. The reverse sweep isn't stopping. Get ready to potentially bring out those brutes.
With you.
Sorry.
Did it.
Sorry.
This was all you. You did this here. Yep. Hey, but you know what, McCormick? I'm here for it, honestly speaking, because when it comes down to St. Edwards University, like they really need to showcase their strengths versus teams that give them a lot of pushback. You know, when I was speaking to Thresh in that interview, you all saw it before we ended up, hopping into this match itself. The one team, much like everybody else that's competing in the CCL X Mutineers event, they want that run back versus Ottawa. They felt like that they had a really good shot at being able to not only take a few maps off of them, but potentially the series as well. But OC University, they've been looking for this run back versus SEU Blue ever since that event back that Spin ended up putting on, where it went to a map number 5, and it ended up being a 4-2 win for SEU. But going towards this map number 5, I mean, this Lone Star Conference rivalry, it is not done yet.
Well, the last 3 series, including this one that I have gone over, it starts with a team winning the first 2, a team coming back winning the second 2, and then the team that wins the next 2 games somehow loses the ending, search and destroy, after having all the momentum of the world for themselves, usually in an embarrassing fashion as well. It doesn't even go to like a round 11 or anything. It's usually like a 6-2 win after a team comes back 6 rounds in a row, just like Oklahoma Christian was able to do. So now they win a 3-0 control, a 250 to 144 Garrison, which really wasn't close after that. I would say about the first maybe 4 points, and then after that was kind of set sail all the way through. Now we go to a Miami search and destroy, which I haven't actually watched in quite some time, which also comes from the fact that we're in September, but usually we go to a standoff or an express nowadays, but opposed to Miami. But hey, I'm here for a little Miami search and destroy. Why not? But you got to look to the ARs once again. Thresh starts to heat up at the end of that game. Really was the only one that could get anything going for the side of SEU. But and then you look to Wisdom again as well. Are you going to pull out the SMG here on this map? Are you going to pull out an AR? Because with Wisdom being able to be that flex role for the side of Oklahoma Christian, you have to kind of ask that question, because either A, you're going to get aggressive, try to match pace with Bala, get those first kills in towards the piano room, or are you going to try and play that AR over towards the A site, get those first couple of bloods for your team, and allow yourselves to work up the map?
Yeah, I mean, Miami offers a lot of interesting circumstances. 3 ARs, sometimes 4 ARs, depending if we're looking towards that beachfront, if we're trying to commit towards that push through purple, piano, and the garage as well. Maybe you could end up running 2-2 or really influence your submachine guns to get those first bloods and break your way in towards that site. But this map is heavily reliant on your ARs. Those longer lines of sight from visitor building defensively over towards Tiki on that beachfront, as well as the post plant on the bay side over by the docks. Once you get it planted over at B, it is just such an annoying position to be able to deal with that head glitch over by the bay water. So, I mean, I think this map will play to St. Edward's strength. Again, over on Moscow, they made that map feel a lot bigger. I mean, the map's already big enough as it is. We saw a nerf to the map. It got cut down just in a little bit size, but they made it feel a lot bigger with how slow they were playing. The biggest problem with Miami, again, if you're unfamiliar with the map Crossroads, you're probably not going to know this joke, but you could literally fit about like 4, maybe 5 Crossroads strikes inside Miami. I've been saying this all Cold War year long.
No.
It's going to pander to St. Edwards wanting to play slow, more methodical,
Sure.
play for these picks. But the problem is that they have to then commit towards that site. That little bit of hesitation that we saw on their offensive rounds from Moscow, to where they were trying to slowly rotate over towards the next bomb site, that doesn't always, that's not available here in Miami.
No.
Because if you're looking on the side for OC University that weren't giving them much of anything towards the tail end of those rounds back on the Moscow, you have such a longer line of sight that you then have to try to cross through the middle of the map. So you're more or less going to have to be committed towards that site once you start already working your way to, because that 30-second mark will come sooner rather than you think for your offense for St. Edwards University. You just got to find the picks and get that bomb down. Plant the bomb.
Plant the bomb. Yeah. And, for St. Edwards, too, the one thing I got to kind of say here is, like, if you want to try and get over towards that B bomb, you're going to have to go through the aggressive SMG of fastball and strike as well. So not only do you have to go through that, but really kind of the way Moscow panned out, at least for them, is that they wanted to go for more long-range angles. They wanted to go for those wider lanes because they felt more comfortable with that, and that would be more of a middle map over towards A push. And if you get that, that's great. But there's also the fact of, again, specifically on Miami, too. Like, you thought it was bad on Moscow. You get first picked on Moscow. They just seemed like they had no clue what they wanted to do the rest of the round. Now here on Miami, you get picked right off the rip. Good luck trying to figure out where you're going to start to rotate to, specifically when the defense or offensive side starts to get set up on the map. It doesn't allow you an inch or a yard to get pushed up across the map. So either way, this is going to be a wild roller coaster of a ride for map number 5 here on Miami. Either way, we're going to kick it to a very short intermission. When we come back, game number 5, the conclusion of this best of 5 series, and we see who's going home and who's moving on to the losers finals. Map number 5 here in this best of 5 series for the Mutineers College COD Invitational, presented by Zaxby's, is about to commence. My name is McCormick, alongside myself is Proper Cast, and while we've got some time before map number 5, we've got another best of 5 series coming up after this as well. So this is the perfect time to go ahead, get on whatever delivery app you want, or maybe hop in your car, maybe get the gameplay back up in the background. Head yourself to Zaxby's. Go get that signature chicken sandwich. Brand new. It's delicious. But any other Zaxby's item as well, really, they've got an entire menu of delicious chicken, but more importantly, some of their sauces are just, heaven, bliss.
Yeah,
it just melts right in the mouth.
When I was done with the broadcast yesterday, I put you and Austin on, and I actually went to go get both the wings and things and the signature sandwich. And I can tell you confidently, as well as a side of the Texas toast, it was gone in a matter of like 10 minutes. Matter of 10 minutes. It's delicious. It's delicious stuff. Thank you to Zaxby's and Florida Mutineers for partnering with the CCL for this fantastic event. But yeah, map 5, and it's all thanks to McCormick because he keeps speaking things into existence. So here we are loading into a Miami search and destroy in between these two teams, and I'll be here for it. Again, when it comes down to it, across the entirety of the summer, a lot of these colleges have been going through the recruiting process to be able to find young students that not only want to be able to progress themselves as an individual through COD, but also through college as well for that juicy degree. Opening round, though, definitely doesn't look like a good one. If you're a fan of OC Esports, it's just going to be leaving Ray. They were that player on offense that were trying to work their way towards the bay side for that win conditioning spot, but it had to be a 1v4, and they're already tagged up, and well, good luck, have fun. Walks away with Crook, though. All right. That's all
As a consolation kill, but you got to think there was a team kill or something that came through there because there was only 2 kills in the 1 versus 3 for the side of St. Edwards, so.
Maybe we might see it. Nope. The last kill. That was the best play, Cold War. That was the best play.
I don't know if that was really the best play. I really wish you could have seen maybe a kill or 2 from earlier in the round for the best play, but
who am I to hate on the algorithm?
Oklahoma Christian, not a great round there, but St. Edwards University, they go ahead and walk away with a 1-0 lead here. And, I said it already, and I really feel bad for already doing it, but, the last couple of S&Ds that we've seen, Search and Destroy us for Game 5. It's been a team that goes up 2 rounds, and then another team just wins 6 in a row, mainly that being Oklahoma Christian in their Game 5 match yesterday.
Full-on B frontal assault. Well, actually, it's through the back on the base side. Ball is up in top purple. Which strike? The timing. He's going to get away with his life. Crook actually goes inside the corner. Gotta know. Gotta know. Yeah. Hey. Oh, hey, how's it going? All right, see you later.
Still got to worry about the players over towards the docks, though, and in the garage. It's going to be a really hard retake here for Oklahoma Christian, specifically still having to get the bomb defused, and nobody really able to even find themselves a flank. 25 seconds left. You still got to get the defuse as well. Those shots are going to help onto a teammate because that's going to make you have to solo push out over towards the van. You want to try and get to the bomb site now. The defuse is going to start to come through, but the player's going to get shots. That's Eons on the strike. So now it's a 3 versus 3. 11 seconds left. All the way on the docks. Oh, they're going to be able to get it. Can you find the defuse in time? No! You can't get it. So St. Edwards will somehow come away with the round win because nobody from Oklahoma Christian was close enough to the bomb site, even though they retake the B site. The B site.
It's head scratching for the one reason. For the initial defense, this was a 3-player stack over towards B. It was. You had 2 players over by purple. You had 1 back dumpster. And typically when you have those 2 players top purple like that, Alex, you'll probably end up throwing 1 out towards the balcony to be able to at least see that push happening. You see that door just to the top left where ball is looking. That's where you typically will have a defensive player maybe throw a shoulder, if not a stun, find that information. But it doesn't come through. So they are able to walk on the site scot-free and exhaust the time. Very frustrating stuff. 2 rounds early for the Hilltoppers, but OC Esports, hot off the gunny. They want this B site, and they want it aggressively.
Aggressive in the top piano. You got Eons all the way in the back. Probably has a 74 U in hand, as we've seen time and time again either way. Down the staircase, over towards the left is going to be Kruk. Relk in the right side corner. First shot's going to come through. Hip fires are going to hit, but it won't be able to find the kill all in total. Strike there around the corner. Relk's going to be able to find the trade. It's beautiful back and forth between both of these 2 teams. And now Ray's stuck in a 1 versus 2. Both players on the side of St. Edwards going to try and either flank all the way back around. Get up into top piano. Looks like they're just going to go all the way back to the spawn. Ray looking for the hop over on the wall. Won't be able to find anything just yet. Needs to get a little bit more aggressive here, but of course he doesn't know that both players are coming hungry. Right on his ass.
Got to continue to lay prone here too. While Ray Fresh is in position just to continuously peek this B-bomb. Ray's going to make a play happen here. 22 seconds. The timing. Fresh not checking this. Ray not planning the bomb either. Just almost expecting the challenge to come through, but it finally ends up being challenged out. And that is that head glitch that I almost said know and love. We all know and hate. Let's be honest here. If you've ever played a Search and Destroy challenge, if you've ever competed in Call of Duty, you hate that. You hate that head glitch. But I mean, Fresh loves it right there. As an AR player, I'm sure, yeah, you're licking your lips, especially defensively. You can just watch that bomb if it ever gets planted, especially with the time being exhausted. You're just never going to make that rotation happen, especially when you had driveway or curve control was coming through from the 2 players remaining for the Hilltoppers. So 3 rounds in, all in the favor for St. Edwards University, and they're going to take the high road here. Of course they are. They're Hilltoppers. They go all the way up through the hotel pool area. They're going to be looking for a beachfront push, and they're going to leave Relk behind. And I like this call, just to overlook driveway, because for OC Esports, as a defensive setup, it's rinse repeat. The difference is, Wisdom, they're on the boat.
Oh, he's so deep over towards the spawn. Relk, it's going to be a bit of a foot race to try and get back to help the teammates, but Kruk, a one-on-one there versus Wisdom. Not used to Wisdom really missing that many shots up close, but as Kruk finds the trade, will be the 3 versus 3. Now, Thresh is going to be able to work his way over towards the side, but you got to look the middle map. Strike might be able to make the play, but he goes all the way back around through the back. So he's going to go to Tiki. You got player number 6 who's also looking for Strike as well. They won't be able to find that kill either. So now Strike's going to try and get all the way up towards top of the top window in the balcony to try and watch over middle map. Such an interesting play, but could work out so well since the bomb's still down over towards the boat. You got to look to player number 7 who's playing over towards the ramp. And of course, player number 6 in Thresh is going to try and get that bomb.
You're down to 23 seconds, though. You really gonna make this play happen? No, not anymore. We're also gonna go down. Thresh soon to fall over by the staircase as well, and you know that's just one of the more damning things about trying to make that A push happen. The timing it's always available for the lone player over here. Is wisdom to be able to make this play happen. They had a great look at that lifeguard house to be able to claim that elimination, and then the confirmation that hey, there's more than one player over here. It's going to be an A hit. So what do you do if you're the rest of Oklahoma Christian University? Well, you just wrap back through piano, middle of the map, and you just wait for everybody to cross through the very open streets. Must needed around there for OC Esports, by the way. Do not want to be down 4-0 in any search and destroy map. But their offense has been a struggle bus. They've really had a hard time to get the bomb over towards the site. Well, they have gotten the bomb over towards the site, but not in a way that it's been in a place to get planted.
Slowly, the south portion of the map, ball is just going to be forced to back off. They're probably going to think there's at least 1 or 2 players there, so won't immediately aggressively chow over towards Bala. Trophy system to prevent anything from happening. He wants that win against Kruk, won't be able to find it. Now the bomb is dropped all the way over towards that head glitch, so you don't have anybody even near the bomb. They're trying to play through middle map. Bala just takes the bomb, leaves it out on an island. And now the question is, what do you do here if you're the side of Oklahoma Christian, because they can just play over towards B now.
Yeah. That's a bomb, not a boat. You can't park that at the docks. Greg's going to go ahead and wrap fully back over this position. We'll scoop up the bomb. You're down 25 seconds. This has to be a B committal going forward off this. And you can see where Ray and Wisdom are at. They're still inside the hotel. Strike's going to try to push forward. Ralph's just going to hold the angle. This round is just over.
You got to get all 3 kills in the span of 15 seconds. Nobody's going to be willing to push you out.
On Miami.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even on Crossroad, that would have been a difficult stretch of kills to get in that little amount of time. So he ends up towards the top. We'll just play the life. We'll get a consolation prize of a kill as well. And now it's a 4-1 lead for St. Edwards. And Robert, you got to start thinking here. All the way down towards the end of this game, another series that started with a 2-win and a reverse sweep opportunity for the opposition. And then the team that won the first 2 games is going to be able to clutch up here in a round, or rather a game number 5. You don't want to say that the reverse sweep was really for nothing, but
Starting to feel that way now, isn't it? You know, and there's one thing that really just brings a joy to my day. It's casting with you and also being right on a call as well. SEU Blue for St. Edwards University, they just look so good on Miami. It just panders to their absolute strengths of playing slow, methodical, all the ARs. Thresh, what a great first blood on the Ray through the middle of the map. So Strike's going to have to go ahead and rotate back out and cover the mid-street angle. This time around, Wisdom is not on the boat. Crook will confirm that. All the way back in the visitors building while the A committal is slowly underway. Rush for 2.
Another player down for Oklahoma Christian. Really not surprising at this point. St. Edwards have continuously gotten themselves first blood after first blood. Wisdom up and towards the top of the window. They now know where both of the players from Oklahoma Christian are going to be playing from. Relk finds the kill on the Bala. Now it's up to Wisdom to go ahead and clutch in a 1 versus 3 to prohibit this from getting to a 5-1 victory, or rather lead for the side of St. Edwards, but more importantly, put them at a position where they can take this best of 5 series with 1 round win, where Oklahoma Christian would have to come back 5 in a row. And in a 1 versus 3, you got 30 seconds left to make something happen, and nobody is going to give you an inch or a peek angle.
He's got to find all of these kills within about 5 seconds. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Miami offers a lot of fun and influential plays from that specific angle, but not when the bomb is planted, not when you're in a 1v3. Tip your hat to Thresh here, St. Edwards University, because they found 2 very crucial kills in the same exact spot. When Strike tried to reinforce that area where Ray got blooded from, they immediately got beamed. In St. Edwards University, you're just so smart to be able to slowly encroach on the space once the eliminations start to come through. Yeah, Thresh got traded out, but the process of elimination, just recognizing, hey, we can get this bomb down, are able to do it in a post-plant situation, they win the round. It's almost like that could have happened a lot more back on the Moscow Search and Destroy. But now on Captain Hindsight, here comes OC Esports, full team in tow towards the B site. Crook for first.
Another first blood for St. Edwards. Now in a position where it's a 3 versus 4. You've got to get the bomb down over towards the B site. Really, you have a minute to work with to keep your team alive inside of not only this series, but this tournament in total. Ray, the kill there on the Crux, strike up in towards top piano. Looks the middle map for a flank, but none is coming, at least at the current time. Thresh all the way across the map now, maybe trying to make his way up the map. You're going to get the second kill there onto Wisdom. Inside the... Oh, did Ray not see Relk inside?
You didn't see
I
him?
don't think Relk saw him either, so now it's going to be a 2 versus 2. One's coming on the flank now. Oh, Strike has to be careful because here comes the flank in from Thresh. Is Thresh going to be able to do anything here? The first one over the top is going to be found. Now inside of the corner, Relk's going to be able to spot out Ray. Ray trying to get away. It won't happen. St. Edwards, despite losing the second 2 maps of this, or rather the last 2 maps of the series in a row, are going to be now put into the losers finals, where they not only have themselves a head full of momentum, but again shut down a reverse sweep from Oklahoma Christian. And, well, 2 maps that look good from Oklahoma Christian now amount to absolutely nothing except a pat on the back and a GG.
Look, you got to think Miami was their pick, was St. Edwards University's pick. The Hilltoppers just look so good on a map like Miami where they can really lean on their ARs because, I mean, go figure, Thresh coming up from the Latin America region, now getting a run there to be able to get a college education while also competing on Texas Fiber. It does hit differently now, does it, Thresh? And you're able to find now all of that plus some more, especially on Miami, where a map where submachine guns have notoriously struggled all cold or year long to be able to influence first bloods. Where it normally comes through is inside piano or inside of top purple. None of those positions were ever really considered for St. Edwards University. They played this map to their strengths to a high degree. They never went inside piano, never bullied their way through top purple because they knew submachine guns were going to be there. They have been a nuisance for them all series long. They play to their strengths over by the bay, by the docks, over by that push over by the beach, on top of the hotel balcony as well, where Thresh found those very crucial opening 2 kills. That's everything that you have to rely on when it's St. Edwards University. This is what it looks like at the collegiate level when you have better ARs than you do submachine guns. Not that Eons is unable to be able to keep pace with what Thresh is able to do. We saw that happen back on the Moscow Hardpoint, but even still, when it comes down to search and destroy, the toughest game mode for St. Edwards University historically for them since they've become a 4-player roster, to be able to lean on Miami like that, if it goes through and they're able to get it, of all things for a map 5, you got to get it every time. You got to get it.
Oklahoma Christian gets sent home. St. Edwards University, they'll move on. They secure themselves top 3, and they await the loser of our winners finals match. We'll be heading to next. That's Indy Esports going up against the Ottawa Braves. And if there's anything we can say about that matchup, it's that Indy Esports not only looked fantastic yesterday, but they barely were able to scrape out the series against St. Edwards with the search and destroy win in map number 5. Now they go up a very, very strong Ottawa Esports roster. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we come back. But real quick, I do want to kind of bring something up here proper. And the thing is it's a special shout out to Nature Bounty's Brain HP for sponsoring the tournament as well. I've got a box of it right here. Let me tell you, this stuff actually works. It's one of those things that has no caffeine. So there's no jitters that you get from it as well. So you're not sitting there drinking some energy drink and you're just going to sit there maybe on an empty stomach and just start shaking while you're playing profusely. And then, of course, now you'll be able to react quicker. You can focus better. And Brain HP also filters out blue light as well and supports visual perception. So really, there's no reason to try this. Remember, you must be 18 or older to buy this product, of course. However, though, like I said, it works out beautifully. It's cracked me out multiple times, and although I don't place well in tournaments 99% of the time, I can tell you I got a top 4 finish in one, so I'm sitting pretty with a little bit of Brain HP behind me. Folks, we'll be back for our second best of 5 series in our winners finals after a quick break. Ottawa Esports going up against Indy Esports.